Hey everybody, Real World Prepper. Old Blue is running. I just had to jump start it. I think it may need a battery. I'm gonna charge this one this weekend and see if it holds a charge. If not, we'll have to get a new battery, but no big deal. She's an old girl with lots of stuff. I didn't do a video this morning, but I did pick up a little more ammo at the same place. And Mrs. RWP is in that shopping center at another store that's there, and so I asked her to pick me up some more, 3 more boxes. That's their max that you can buy is 3 boxes. So, but here's what I wanted to talk to you about. How many of you can remember? I'm sure many of you can relate to this. How many of you remember when you were a kid and you got into trouble and you were with your mom? Maybe you're at home with your mom, and your mom said, go upstairs and you wait until your father comes home. And you went upstairs and you waited, and you waited. And it might have been, maybe dad got home at 5 or 6 in the evening and this was 2 or 3 in the afternoon, or whatever the case may be. I personally can recall waiting for hours for father to come home, in a state of being grounded or whatever the case was. And that feeling of dread, knowing that something bad was coming, knowing that a punishment was coming, trying to sort out all the ways that I might be able to work my way out of it or anything like that, but knowing that ultimately I wouldn't be able to, because when dad came home, that would be that. I would take my punishment. He would dish it out, because, mom already knows the offense. So you just waited there. You waited there in your bedroom, dreading when father came home. That is how I feel now. I feel like many of us are in that state right now, that state of dread, knowing that the punishment is coming home, that the actions are coming home, that the negative results that we're going to see and receive are coming. We are not yet being issued that punishment fully. The dread is there. We are there. We're waiting, but we know it's coming. We don't even know when it's coming. Just like if you were waiting for your dad, and maybe you didn't know, maybe he was going to be home at 3 or 4 or 5. You didn't know. So we don't know exactly when it's coming, but we know that it's coming. I was thinking about that earlier today. I was having a conversation with a coworker, and I asked him if he was ready. He said, "You mean ready or prepared?" And I said, "All right, how about both?" So he talked about a little bit about his level of preparedness, and then his level of readiness. Now, this is something that has been debated, argued by many on this platform and elsewhere around the country for several weeks now, or maybe longer, but certainly in the last few weeks, the conversation has ramped up. How do we prepare ourselves? And not just, how do we ready ourselves, rather? Not just preparedness, like I say, but the readiness. What is our readiness exercise? What is our plan? What is our game plan? What are we going to do? If you haven't already gotten your houses in order, if you hadn't already gotten your community together, if you hadn't already got your plan in place, no better time than the present, but you may be behind the 8 ball. You most likely are. Even for somebody like me, and I am no expert here, I'm a prepper, but just like my title says, I'm the real world prepper. And let me reaffirm and reiterate what that means and why I chose that as my name for this channel. Is I'm a guy who lives in the real world. I'm a guy who, I have a job and I have a wife and a child and a mortgage and responsibilities and everything else in the world that I've got to do. And I also prep. And I'm not an expert. I don't have everything. I'm not fully ready for everything, fully prepared for everything. I've not even hashed everything out in my mind as to how things might go, what I might do, how I might respond, blah, 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 all those things. I would dare say that most of us are real world preppers in that sense, in that we're prepping and we're doing the best we can. We're doing what we know to do. We're doing what we think is the best thing. We're making what we think are the best decisions. But ultimately, we won't know until Daddy comes home to issue the punishment, how ready we are. So while we're in our bedrooms waiting for Dad to come home to pull off that belt and to give us licks or whatever it may be, let's do what I recall doing as a child and be thinking more and more of what we can do, how we can do it, how effective we can be, the things we can do to add weight to our own situation and our own benefit, and to minimize the punishment level, if that's a good analogy. Even if it's a bad analogy, I think you get what I'm saying. This is the time to really be fine-tuning what we're going to be doing, how we're going to respond, how we're going to react, or how we're going to act versus react. I don't know. I can't answer these questions for you. I do think that there needs to be sort of a unifying grand theme in this thing, because we can't all be just out here with our own ideas, and expect to be effective. I think so. I think a discussion is healthy, but I think ultimately there's going to be so many varying ideas and opinions that we're just going to have to figure things out. So I hope you guys are thinking about these things. This is definitely what I'm thinking about. Waiting on Dad to come home to pull that belt off and give us the whipping. Hey, look, just a quick thought that I had that I wanted to share with you. Thank you for watching. I'm the Real World Prepper. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I'm also over on Patreon. There's a link in my About section. I've also got a P.O. box and an email address also in my About section. Just wanted to remind you of that. I hadn't mentioned those things in a long time, but they're there. And thank you so much, everybody that's here, everybody that's watching, everybody that supports this channel. And we will see you soon. Bye.